All right, guys, what's up? Curvin, happy Monday. Thanks for being here. Ken, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. You made it early. Curvin, you made it early to a stream. And Ken, you're not working on a stream, so appreciate you guys being here. I'm Paul, half of Dads and Dice. And today we're going to go over the new games in the collection. So, not too many. A couple ones that were pretty anticipated, um, and then just a couple other ones that we'll get to play kind of like always. But yeah, appreciate you guys being here. um, 1 second. Cool. Yeah, appreciate you guys being here, and as always, following along and just helping out with our streams, being present and commenting, all that kind of stuff. So we do appreciate it. Hope everybody's week has started off well. I know mine's been pretty decent so far. Nothing too crazy, so that's always a good thing. But yeah, let's flip on over here. Hey Dennis, thank you for being here. Let's flip on over here and get to some games that we have. So let me go to the top down. Perfect, got it. And first one that we'll start here. This one is still brand new in shrink. Haven't got a chance to open it yet. We'll zoom in just a little bit there. This is Orbit. This is the Kickstarter edition. Shout out to Bite Wing Games. I believe it's Bite Wing Games and All Play for actually sending this one over. This is one of his 3 games that he just released recently, that Reiner Knizia released recently. And this one is in a racing game. So the other 2 didn't really seem to interest me very much, but this one being a racing game with BGG Spring, or I'm sorry, with BGG Con coming up, we generally like to play some racing games. So I thought this one would be a good one to try out and see what we thought of it. So first thing, love the artwork on here. Looks really cool. Vincent Dutrait art. I believe he did all of them for this series of games. Ken, there was a city here, Cebu. It had a 7.2 earthquake. Oh no. Sorry about that, Ken. I'm glad that you're safe. Is Cebu the capital? That sounds really familiar to me. But I'm glad that you are safe. And then this is the rulebook. Nice wingspan, not wingspan, Stonemeyer quality rulebook here. I don't know what that material is. But this is a 2 to 4 player, 30 to 60 minute game. An orbital race between interstellar tourists. So that's what Orbit stands for. Come one, come all to the Silo system, the beating heart of our galaxy for the race of the decade. We've recruited the best tourists in all of the cosmos, travel-hardened explorers who will compete in the ultimate contest. These pilots must race to visit all the planets in the Silo system, surfing on an orbital paths, teleporting between hyperjump portals, and beaming through hyperspace. Enjoy your dream vacation on one of our luxurious planets or lavish space stations as you witness the ultimate interstellar marathon. All the eyes of the galaxy will be watching this decennial event celebrating the unification of our systems under Silo supremacy. Let the race begin. Hey, Michael. Orbit is very good. Play with all the modules. It's light enough they can play. Awesome. That's good to hear, Tay. Yeah, we're definitely going to be playing this one. Let's see. Overview. It's a 24th century tactical space race with the simplest turns yet. Competing to visit all the planets in the solar system, then return to your starting planet first. Cards allow you to do a combination of things, including flying your spaceship, collecting energy, bonus flights, all sorts of stuff. Plan your route, take advantage. Only one can be the greatest tourist. Seems pretty easy. Ken, it's a popular city located in the middle of my country with nice beaches and good food. Good tourist spots. Ooh, okay, so this is the Kickstarter edition, like I mentioned. So this looks like it's the Nebular expansion. This is an expansion, base game required to play. pretty cool. I like that it came in its own little kind of thing like this, not a whole nother bag. The player boards, so it looks like you have some different symbols on here. I'm assuming those are the planets that you're traveling to. Everybody's player board looks to be the same. Look at this map. Ooh, this is a pretty sweet map. I'm going to zoom out on this one. Let's go here. Nice, interesting player board. So not like one that you've probably seen before. A nice little, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a hexagon shape. I wonder if both sides are the same. I honestly can't tell if both sides are the same. They look the same to me, but that's pretty cool. That looks pretty sweet. You got your punch tokens here, and that's it. A whole bunch of emptiness. Ken, we just got rid of quite a few games, so don't have to make any shelf space soon. I have a little bit of space right in here, and then I've got some behind me. So doing okay on space right now. Here's the little black piece there. So let's look at these tokens. Looks like, I wonder what your space, oh, these are your spaceships. So here's the player pieces, little UFO spaceships. Pretty sweet looking. I like them. And then these look to be the planets. So green planet, purple, brown, red, orange, gray. I'm going to assume this is a sun. It could be a planet. And then a Jupiter-like planet. Pretty nice little components there. But honestly, I guess kind of like what Tay said there, pretty straightforward components. Nice little bag, I'm assuming to keep your, I don't even know what you would be keeping in there. How many pages is this rule book? Artificial nebulas module. Introduces permanent changes to the board. Ooh, interesting. Permanent changes. Okay. Advanced 2-player game, 4-player partnership variant. Game end. So it looks to be pretty straightforward. Page 5 until page 10. So really only about 5 pages of rule. And it's just hand size, energy. You know, this game kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe Wormholes. Devin and I were talking about that. So Wormholes is a AEG game where you are, it's a pick up and deliver style game. So not necessarily a race, but I know in that you have energy, and those are the turns that you take. So you could have a certain amount of energy, and you'd spend that on your turn. You could go through like Wormholes, which is kind of like this hyper jump, hyper acceleration canyon. So there's other things that would throw you across the board. So interesting. Hand size upgrades. So I guess you can upgrade your boards. No. Maybe this. I'm not sure. Very cool. I am excited to play this one. Like I said, most of the time, here's the expansion. Anytime that we go to BGG Con, we always try to get at least one racing game in. And I know Devin has already talked about doing Thunder Road Vendetta, so that will be one of them. But this could be the other one that we play. So this Nebular expansion, the galaxy has been clamoring for a spectacle, and for this decade's race, we intend to provide in spades. Our team of scientists has been hard at work developing new innovations for both interplanetary navigation and artificial cosmic anomalies. You won't believe what these racers do unless you see it. Hyper acceleration engine, so I guess something to make you go faster. Take energy cubes to increase the number of cubes on your energy. Discard all the cards. Hyper jump. Very cool. I'm excited for this one. I will say this was, like I said, this is one that kind kind of piqued my interest a little bit, mainly because it was a racing game. But actually looking at it and looking at all these components on here, it looks very nice. Looks really well made. Let's see what these cards offer here. If I can get them open. Looks like they have some energy on there. I'm going to assume this is like your movement, where you can actually go to, or like which planets you're going to. Or maybe it's how many different turns you have, how many movement points you have. Slow down on board games now. The cabinet's almost full, saving space for Dice Throne Outcast Season 3 and Season 4. Ken, did you get Season 3? I'm assuming Outcasts. And then I'm looking, I've been seeing Season 4. It looks pretty cool. Let's zoom in here to these cards. Kind of focus, maybe. Focus. Oh, this might be the best we get. Yeah, so it looks like it's the different planets. Looks like all of them may be the same energy. Nope, there's one that gives more energy. Wonder if any of them have like full. This one is 0 energy, but it's got some tokens on there. Full energy. Little other symbol, maybe move back and forth kind of thing. Oh, and then all of them. Wow. I wonder what those are. Those seem different than the other ones. Very cool. Interested in this one. Excited to play it, I should say. Looks nice. We will definitely be getting it played at BGGCon in November. If not before that. Doesn't have a solo mode, so I won't be able to do that on my own. But maybe next time Devin and I get together. There was a 2-player variant in here, so that might not be terrible. We'll see. Looks pretty cool. That is... Come on, let's put all this away. Oops, just poked something through. In the nice bag. Here we go, Orbit, Bite Wing Games. Very cool, excited for that one. All right, coming up next. This is going to be a short one. We don't have very many games this time, but we'll kind of look at them a little bit more. This is Stones of, I think it's pronounced Aver. I think it's Aver. It rhymes with cavern, is what he said. So Stones of Aver. And this was sent to us by T.C. Hauser. He's just a follower of our channel. He reached out and said that he was making a little 18-card wallet game. And he asked if we want to try it out. I told him that I would try it out, see what I thought. Told him no promises that we'd make a playthrough or anything like that. But, you know, could always give it a play and tell him what I thought about it. So this is, like I mentioned, just a little wallet-sized game. It's coming to crowdfunding sometime. Not sure when. I wonder if it says it on here. Says you can find Sons of Aver on Kickstarter, BGG, or the Insta. Postcard Board Games is his Instagram, so Postcard Board Games. But no, it doesn't have any date about the Kickstarter or anything like that. I got to play this one yesterday a little bit, and then I was playing it today a little bit at the library, took my daughter there. Again, if you've been following along the last month or so, I've been taking a lot of games to the library, little small wallet ones, and this was one. And so just random, he sent this piece of obsidian because this game does have to do with different types of rocks. But this is a real piece of obsidian from Utah, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's a 1 to 2 player game, says plays in about 20 minutes. So what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle up your deck. You have this little moon cycle here, and there's 8 different cycles that the moon goes through. And then you have your cards. So you will draw 2 of them, and you're going to have a little 2x4 tableau. And so we'll do something like this. And then you will put 1 card here on the right, 1 card on the left. You'll draw 3 cards to your hand, and then you have this. So you have your actual tableau, which is called the altar, I believe. You have your right card and your left configuration card, and then your draw pile. So what you're going to do on your turn is you have these cards here, and all these cards have these different symbols. And I believe there's 7 different symbols, and you're trying to match these symbols. So what you'll do on your turn is you have 2 action points, and I don't remember exactly how much each action is. So for one of the things that you can do is you can lay a card down, and when you lay a card down, you have to match one of the symbols either vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. So here that doesn't work because none of these symbols match up. But if I came over here, this would work because these 2 symbols match up. So that would be 1 action point. And then I could do another action point, which would be something like this, where that symbol and that symbol match up. So that would be my first turn of the round, right? So I have, those are my 2 action points that I used. Another thing that I could have done is you can, let's say I have something like this already, right? Another action point that you can take is rotating a card 180 degrees. So let's say, I don't know, something was like this, right? That wouldn't work because of that, but I could spend an action point. Oh, that didn't work. I thought that was going to come over here, but you can rotate a card 180 degrees for it to be an action point. Another action point that you can do is you can take a card and slide it clockwise next to something else. So, if that matched up over here, you would be able to slide it. You can spend 2 to discard one of your cards in your hand, and then draw another one. And then you can spend 2 by tossing a card, so removing a card from your actual tableau. So I've done my 2 action points here. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to do the look phase. So you're going to look at both the right card and the left card, and this has to be true. So whatever part you have here has to be true on the right. The right is right. So it says there's exactly 1 gap in the bottom row. Well, that is not true. So this card is going to get discarded, and a new one's going to replace it. Over here, this one says there's exactly 2 gaps on the top row. Well, that one is true. This one is supposed to be false, so that gets discarded again as well. So those will get discarded. New ones will come out. I get to choose the orientation, and then I just continue playing from there. I go to the next round, and so on and so forth. So by the time you get to the next full moon, or when you get to the next full moon, you want to complete your altar. And you want to complete this altar only on full moons. So you can really play this game as many times as you want, because you can always toss cards and stuff like that. There's not a specified number of rounds, but you have to win the game on a full moon phase. So so far, after my 2 playthroughs, it's been okay. It's nothing really groundbreaking. It's just a puzzle game, which a lot of these wallet kind of games are. It's something to pass the time, something to just kind of do. It's pretty basic. Just a couple cards with different symbols. The different card colors are the different rocks. You have your obsidian, clay. One of them is soap rock, I think, and the other one is, I don't remember. But you have the 2 other types of rocks. There are a couple different challenges that you can do. So once you've gotten pretty good at the game, you can start getting 4 clay at the bottom row and then end with no clay in the altar. Get a hatch match and then end with 0 hatch matches and 4 flare matches. So it's just different challenges that you can do just to make the game a little bit more challenging once you've kind of figured out the puzzle of it. There's also an expansion in here that they included. I haven't looked at the expansion at all, so I can't really talk on that very much. But it's still got the symbols on there. It's different kind of shapes. I think this is an arrowhead probably. So I'm just kind of doing different stuff there. But like I mentioned, this is coming to Kickstarter. So if you're into those small wallet style games, if you need something to kind of pass the time, check this one out. it's been, like I said, I've got two plays in it, and it's a wallet size game, so nothing that was super surprising, but I've definitely played worse things as well. But that's it. Stones of Aver by T.S. Howard and T.C. Howard, and I think I said it was Post Stamp Games, Postcard Board Games, Postcard Board Games. So that is that game. All right. Up next, this was probably one of my more anticipated games of the year, and this is White Castle Duel. If you watched our live stream on Friday, you will know Devin's thought on this game. You'll know my thoughts a little bit on the game as well. Devin absolutely hated it. I thought it was decent. I think it's a decent game. What really kind of disappointed me about it was that it is branded the White Castle, because it doesn't really feel. I don't know. It does feel like a White Castle game, but the White Castle is just good at too. It's a different game, is what it is. It's just a completely different game. But I will say, component wise, what's in the box, all that is really, really well done. The replayability with the tiles and stuff, very similar to the White Castle. Devere, you've got your 50 rule books here and all different languages. But it is it's pretty easy to set up. Let's put this here if we can. You have we'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. You have your individual player boards. So again, like in the White Castle, you have your resource counters down here using the same resources, your rice, your iron, your pearl. You have 3 different lantern colors that you can run now. So instead of just having one main lantern, you have these 3 different ones. So depending on whatever starting card you have, that's where you will begin with a card. Up here is where your coins and your Dymo seals will go, and you can only ever hold up to 10 of those in any combination. And then just like in the White Castle, you can always trade in 2 Dymo for a resource of your choice. Ken, Outcast is different from Season 3. Season 3 is coming next year. Oh, okay. Ken, I didn't realize that was Season 3. I thought that would have been Season 4. So that is their player boards. And then you have this main board. So I'll zoom in here on the main board. They made it very compact, so I do appreciate that, right? It is a small, compact game, and everything is modular on here. So you have your 3 main sections like you do in the White Castle. You have your training grounds up here. You have your bridges right here. You have your castle actions right here, which I'll show here a little bit when I get it set up. But then there's 2 more actions that they add. There is this trade action, and then there's another one that allows you to flip stuff. So what you'll do is, when you're setting it up, this is your castle that you're going up. And so this will be your castle over here that you're going up. And then you're filling in all of these spaces with your actual actions, right? So these are the places where you'll put your cylinders, because there's no dice in the game. Even though I feel like the White Castle should have dice in them, this one does not have dice. So I'll just kind of set this up just kind of real quick, just so that you guys can kind of see just the basics of it, right? Something like that. And then you have your actions, right? Something like this. And then you have some cards. We'll just put these out, something like this. Right, so you'll have, these cards will be stacks of 10, right? But we're just placing these out here so that you can get an idea. And these will be here, right? Those are there. These are here. So actually, Devin and I just played a game of this on Friday. And actually, the game was a little bit disappointing, the one that we had just recently played, because of this modular board. We didn't get very much stuff with resources. So we were very, very resource starved. Now, that does happen in the White Castle sometimes, but you can always do some other action in order to kind of catch up or not feel like you wasted a turn. Here, it's pretty cutthroat. It can get pretty rough, if you don't have the resources that you need. So the game is set up something similar to this, right? I'm not going to get everything out, but just enough so that you guys can see what I'm doing here. And then we'll do a couple lanterns here. We'll do something like that. Okay. So what you'll do, there's 2 phases in the game, and there's only 12 turns. So the first phase of the game is the outgoing phase. And what you'll do on the outgoing phase is you have these cylinders. And for these cylinders, sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't really see that very well. But for these cylinders, you are going to place them out here on the board, but you cannot match the lantern color spot that you're putting it. So, for example, this one is an orange lantern. I cannot put my orange cylinder on here. This one is white. I can't put my white one out there. So what I would do is I would say, I want to go here and perform this action here. So this is orange. I'm going to place my black cylinder on there. And whatever color you cover is the lantern that you run. So I've covered up orange. So I will then run this, which will give me a rice, will give me a steel, and will give me a mother of pearl. And then I get to perform the adjacent actions. So this one is the training grounds. And just like in the White Castle, you're spending, well, not just like in the White Castle, but you're spending either 2 or 5 iron in order to place your workers out here. So let's say I spent 5. I don't have 5. Let's say I spent 2. I would then get to choose one of these benefits, either 2 Dynamo Seals or 2 food. If I had 5, I could put it here, and then I could do a training warrior action for -1 steel, or get 5 victory points. Let's say I go to this space. I would run my black one, and then I get to do these actions. So I would get to do the castle and the bridge. So for the castle, you are moving up on either this side or this side. Once you decide which way you're going, your opponent has to go on the other one. You pay 2, you're moving up 1. If you pay 5, you're moving up twice, and you're gathering whatever resource you land on. And then the bridges works the same as the training ground. You pay the resources, you place it there, you get something, and you also get one of these symbols. I think the part that really turned Devin and I off of the game was the end game scoring. It is very convoluted. I don't know if you can see it super well, but there's these symbols everywhere. So you have these flags, you have katanas and masks, and then you have these origamis. Some are white and some are blue. So endgame scoring is this training ground is your number of workers in the section times how many ever samurai swords and shields you have times 1. This section is how many workers you have times only samurai masks times 2. This section is getting you symbols. So you're really not scoring much over here, but you're getting symbols for those multipliers. And then in this castle, you're multiplying flags by whatever level of the castle you're on. So this is one level or one flag, 1 point per flag, 2 points per flag, 3 points per flag. There's a new action, this trading one, like I talked about. Here you can go and you can buy these symbols. So you could pay 2 resources to get this little token here, which is 2 flags. You can spend 5 to get this one, which is 2 of the red symbols, which are up here. So anyway, there's that. And then there's these cards. And so these cards have actions on them as well. So let's say I go here, I do the training, and then I get to do this card action, which is 2 victory points and a lantern card. Eventually, you can also grab this and put it in your player board. On the back, there's symbols, so you have to be able to flip the card and put it on the back. There's a lot going on in this game. There's a lot to kind of try to balance out. And I'm sure after more playthroughs, you can balance it out. But it's really hard to, based on the layout of the board, really try to focus on one thing, because you are going to basically do a little bit of everything. And in this kind of game, that's not necessarily what you want to do. So again, I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a decent game that should not have been called White Castle Duel. I know why they called it White Castle Duel, so that it could sell more than what I anticipate it would have if it wasn't White Castle. But it gives similar vibes, but it's not in any way streamlined. It's not in any way a lighter White Castle. It's just a different one, right? When I think of a duel game, I think of, I don't know. I'm not sure. It just kind of, it didn't hit the mark, which is really unfortunate because, like I said, I absolutely love the White Castle. I love the Matcha expansion. I think those are all great. And this one just kind of fell a little bit flat, unfortunately, for what it was. So that is this one. Try it out. It could be something that you really like. But I don't know. For us, it just kind of didn't, like I said, didn't really hit the mark for what we were both expecting with this game. But yeah, that is this one. It should be releasing at Essen. So whenever that is, I think October 22nd. So I think it's currently on pre-order. I'm not 100% sure. But again, I could definitely see some people really enjoying it. And then obviously, like Devin and I, there's some people that just would rather play White Castle base game at 2. So that is this one here. Okay. Oops, forgot to put this way. Oh, one cool thing about it, the player order. So whoever goes first will go, they'll have their first 6 turns in that incoming round. I didn't even explain it, but during the second round, it's outgoing. So you pick up the cylinders and you put them back on your player boards. But the second player, they get to go twice in a row. So they get first choice of that during the outgoing round. So they get the last turn in the first round and the first turn in the second round. So that's pretty cool. I did enjoy how they did that one. Okay. Last game here. This is Transgalactica. This is another Devere game. This is a bigger box Devere game. This was designed by Daniel Tassini. He designed Solkin. What else did he design? There's a couple other big games that he did. He was in the he was with a lot of the T games. Those designers from Board and Dice. I can't pull it up right now, but that's okay. But yeah, the big one that he did was Zolkin. I believe that was, yeah, Daniel Cini. So again, all of the rule books for Devere in every single language. Reglement, Manual de Reglas, Reglamento, Rulebook, and then another Reglamento. Put these away for now. So this one. The Galactic Senate has launched the Transgalactica Decree. All able-bodied crew in the galaxy must take on the task of expanding its boundaries. Great riches will come through exploring new planets, sharing knowledge, and establishing trade outposts, but reaching out to the unknown is not always an easy task. So each fleet must be ready to face conflict, both on the battlefield and in the dizzying heights of space politics. In order to thrive in the game and obtain the most VP, you'll travel the far reaches of the galaxy, improve your fleet's influence in all galactic matters, compete with other fleets for technological advancements, build a commercial network, possibly even send representatives to the Galactic Senate to claim political advantage. May the best spacefarer win. I really enjoy the artwork in this game. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the colors of this game. I think once you actually look at it, it doesn't look super busy, but I could see at first glance it being a little bit much. One thing that I will say, and I will kind of show you guys that a little bit more whenever I got the board out here. We have not played it yet, but it is one that we will be playing relatively soon. This game kind of went all out on their icons. They kind of made brand new things that you don't really see super often. So it can be a little bit confusing. Like these little triangles right here. This one is a discount of one, and this is a discount of everything. So again, it's something that's kind of like interesting. Why would they kind of pick that stuff? They have different kind of resources here. So you have your alien, your mineral, your energy. I don't know. It is just interesting choices on some of the symbols and the icons that they chose for the game. But let's move this out of the way. Let's kind of look at what we have in here. I've opened this once since we got it. Nice little promo here. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I think it's a planet. There's a nice little promo. There are so many components in this game. So many meeples. So many just wooden bits. Resources, everything. They're wooden. They're chunky. They, look nice, feel nice. But there's a lot of them. I think this is this is a 2 to 5 player game. So, you've got all the colors and all the different meeples. So, like I mentioned, there's 2 different types of workers. You have your captains, which I believe these bigger ones are the captains. And then you have your, I forget what they call them, co-captains, your lesser ones, which are these smaller meeples. These, I forget what they are, but they're like your little cylinders. You have these hex-shaped ones. You have these other little ones. I think these are tech track kind of markers. You have your rocket ships, right? So you've got all different sorts of stuff. You've got stars and other things over here. Actually, I don't even know what this... Oh, I think this is your income counter, if I remember correctly. Let me see. So yeah, you've got these stars and then these like interesting little ones there. I think that's your income one. I'm not sure. So all of those pieces, more resources here. These are your alien, your energy, and your whatever that one was. You have your player boards, which are actually pretty nice. They are dual layered player boards. So this is where your workers will go. These are where those little cylinders are. This is your income track. Some type of card will go here. I'm assuming these cards, maybe they're benefits, something. I'm not 100% sure. But all the artwork is different, right? So I believe they're not asymmetric. They're not asymmetric, but they all do have different artwork, which I find pretty cool. Purple one. Now, this is what I found very interesting in this game. So with all of these pieces, they give you all of these stickers to sticker everything with. There are tons of stickers here. All of these to be placed on there. Do you need them? No, you don't need to put them on there. It says right here, these stickers are optional, no need for play. But these shapes are super similar. I don't know. I feel like you have to put the stickers on there. Or at least that kind of reminds you what the things are from the icons on there, right? It'll at least give you sort of an idea of what you're supposed to be doing. Are the bigger ones the captains, or the smaller ones the captains? What are they? Anyway, not a huge deal. I just found it interesting that they didn't screen print them. I know it saves money, I guess, not putting them on there, but it's a lot of work to do before a game. All of your different components here, right? All the board, so your different planets. Oh yeah, there's pirates in this game, so there's pirate things up here. That's it there. Let's kind of clear this up a little bit and then zoom back out. This is, I don't remember, but this white cube is something, and I know there's stickers for it. Let's put this over here. From what I remember, this board was pretty big. This worker needs to be put away. Oh, I didn't close that bag. Yeah, this board is pretty big. What is this? Just a piece of board. So there's two sides. I'm going to guess it's due to player count. Most of it fits on here pretty decently. Move that over a little bit. Move this over. Yeah, that fits pretty decent. So you have your planets out here. You have your different tech tracks that you can go on. I know this is military. I believe this is technology. I don't remember what the other ones are. But I don't know. It feels like it could be a lot, but I feel like there's a good game here. Not 100% sure. This one went kind of under the radar, mainly because of this rule book. This rule book is trash. I've tried reading it a couple times. I went to BGG to look it up, and everybody said that it was trash. It wasn't just me. There was an updated rule book that was posted on BGG, and it's not much better. They fixed a couple things, but not everything. So there's a lot of, errata, a lot of FAQs that people are asking and answering and stuff like that. So with that being said, it's probably going to be a minute before we can actually figure out the official rules of the game and get everything played and figured out. But with that being said, I have heard once you understand it, the flow of the game is pretty easy, pretty simple to get through. So, I mean, it seems pretty easy here. You got your income phase, your action phase, your maintenance phase. There is a couple actions. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So political, production, military, technology. Purple is commerce, wherever purple is at. Mining, which I believe is here. Exploring, all that kind of stuff. So It's a pretty big board, like I said. I believe it's a fairly heavy-ish game, 3.6 or 7. Uh, so somewhere up there. So I do think that it's going to be a game that we will enjoy. Let's see what Transgalactica is on here on BGG. 3.64. So again, I do think that this is a game that we will enjoy, but it's going to take a bit for me to sticker all these components, have Devin actually read through the rule book. I told him already that this is going to be a game that he's going to have to learn. He is much better at picking up little things, little nuanced things than I am. So he will be the one learning that and going from there whenever we play this game. So that was actually the last game that I had here. Like I said, not very many, but some that I was very excited about. One that I am very excited about now, and then this one, which is kind of up in the air. So that is all that I have. I appreciate you guys being here. I know, again, that was a shorter one than usual. Haven't been getting very many games in lately, and that's okay. Like Ken said, the more games we get, the more games we have to get rid of, and the more space that we have to have. So we've been doing pretty well right now. And with that being said, and Devin's Shelf of Shame update will come out tomorrow. So he'll talk about all the kind of games that he has played since his last update. He missed quarter 2, but he incorporated it into this next video. So he's been making some progress on his Shelf of Shame as well. Mine's pretty good. I don't have very many games that I haven't played, I don't think. So I'm keeping mine in control for now. Yeah, Ken, these do look good. I'm excited for this one. I am hopefully optimistic for Transgalactica. I don't want to get my hopes up too high because I've been burned lately with some games that I was very excited about. So we're going to keep expectations, relatively mid for now. But yeah, that's all that I have. I appreciate you guys coming here. As always, remember, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help us, helps our channel grow. And I will see you on Friday for a solo stream of Takedo. But yeah, that's all that I have. You guys have a good night. Talk to y'all later.